Hey!
Don't start yet.
Hey! Hey! What up? Are we live? Hopefully. Take four? Take four.
So this is what you get when you get a couple people who have no clue what they're doing when it comes to trying to stream and getting audio and
Wanted to start a podcast and don't know anything about starting a podcast. Kind of. Couldn't you say that would be it? Wouldn't you say? That's a good way to
Hey, guess what?
summarize it. Are we live? Ooh.
That would be it. Wouldn't you say? That's a good way to.
Hey, guess what?
Hey, all right.
Hey,
we're
here.
live. All right.
All right,
turn that
so-
shit down.
This is, like he said, about take 5 of this shit because
The audio.
we've said all along we're learning this as we go, and we've been having some serious problems figuring out our audio and different things, and we've been trying to make things better, and they've only been making it work. Hey, turn that shit down. And we thought we had it all worked out, but kind of the whole point of this video is to let everyone know next week would normally be... Actually, pause. We have Stone with us.
Oh,
I forgot.
Let's not delay that because it's... What time is it?
I'm the real star here.
It's 10:17.
Oh, you think so, huh?
It's
Yeah, I'm the
10:17.
real
Should you
star.
be in bed? Is tomorrow school night?
No, tonight's a school
yeah,
night.
but this is the underground
That was
night.
a trick question. Tomorrow night is not a school night. Tomorrow night is Friday night. You could have been like, no, it's not. And I've been like, you're right.
You can stay up till 1.
Stone's been wanting to jump on here because he sees what we're doing, hears us talking about stuff, and
I watched the first part of the mission story, Sean's story, and I heard a little bit from some of the other episodes.
wait, you didn't watch the second and the third part of the mission story?
Well, I did watch part of the third.
Guess what? We have 2 people watching.
Hey, that's
Guess who that
you
is?
and me. So Stone's been watching this stuff. We didn't talk about Sean too. We'll get to Sean. We'll get to the absence of Sean. Again, Sean's not here.
It's too bad. I
He's
mean,
a
we've
ghost.
really enjoyed having him on the show, and we'll talk about why he's not. But
Dead.
So Stone's excited to be able to come on. Tell everybody what
are you gonna replace Sean?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the new Sean.
Sean.
You're the new Sean. Much smaller.
I'm the itty bitty Sean.
All right. So anyway, why?
What do you want to
come on?
talk about during the episode that you get on and do?
Well, first I want to talk about spirituality, because I've learned from my mom and my dad. My mom, no spoilers, and my dad, he's learned quite a few things,
I have.
and he's taught me stuff.
Yeah.
And since he's like a coach, a learning coach or something like that,
Yeah.
I can hear some of his sessions, hear what he does, so then some of that gets taught onto me.
You just absorb it.
Yeah.
It just comes through to you from hearing me talk. But we also talk to you and
Yeah.
Tori and Aria and Taylor about the things that we've learned. You know,
Yeah.
as we don't teach religion, we teach spirituality. So Stone wants to come on and talk about stuff like that. What's the other thing? Oh,
Speaking
listen,
of religion,
listen.
somebody had to go poop. But speaking of religion, the second thing I want to talk about is what it's like being the only kid that's not in the church in Utah. Because you go to a school, 90% of the kids there, all Mormon.
And that's fine
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, that's
but for
good
you,
for them.
you want to talk about kind of what that feels like.
Yeah.
And you said something the last time we filmed that we didn't go live. But you said something. You said, I'm willing to bet there's some kid out there who
Yeah.
what?
There's at least just one kid out there that can hear their kids watching this video or the video that we'll make in a while. That's for me. That's about me.
So you want to help somebody.
Yeah.
Help some of the kids out there.
That are
In a
not
similar
Mormon.
situation
Yeah.
as you.
That aren't Mormon in an all-Mormon school.
Or it could be they're in an all-Catholic area.
Yeah.
And they're the only non-Catholic kid in
Yeah.
their area or whatever.
And sometimes you feel like you can't be yourself. Or at least that's just how it is for me. Because I remember when I was a lot younger, I would say, oh my God, and then my Mormon kid friend would say, please don't say that around me. Please don't say that around me. Say, oh my gosh. Because you don't want to say the Lord's name in vain. So.
But do you believe that?
No.
All right. So you're like, well, I don't believe that, but you believe that. So you're going to talk about kind of what you did to calm that situation out and how you've dealt with it and how you processed that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Stone, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
You better get to bed before your mom finds out that you're
Seriously,
downstairs. If she sees
It is already
if she
midnight.
sees that we're live and she's laying in bed thinking that all of her chickens are in their beds, she's going to be like, that son of a... I can't say he's a son of a bitch, but you know what I'm saying. Good night.
Good night.
Go to bed.
I do.
Night.
Thanks
Love
for
you.
You're welcome.
Can you crawl out through there?
coming. So,
Because you do have to crawl out.
all right. So,
Sean is not here tonight. Sean should have been, well, we film every Thursday night. I'm not going to say should have. Sean, it's totally your choice. If you don't want to be here, that's fine.
Because he died.
Sean didn't die. He thought he might have had the COVID. Well,
he didn't think so.
Rick and I thought he might have had the COVID because he was laying in bed for a couple days, couldn't move.
But his theory is that he got sick off Laffy Taffy.
Not Laffy Taffy, raspberry taffy from Harmon's. It looks tasty. I saw a bag of it and I almost bought it. And then he told me that him and his son had eaten it and they'd gotten sick from it.
Go
So-
buy it and eat some and see if you get sick.
Hell no, I'm not gonna-
Then we'll
why would
know
I
for
do that
sure.
to myself?
Anyway, he was sick as a dog for 2 or 3 days, and he's feeling better now, but he hasn't been getting a lot of sleep, or at least he didn't last night, and he's had headaches, but he's recovering and just wanted to get to bed early.
So we
which
miss you,
doesn't
Sean.
happen when we film on Thursday night.
We love you, Sean. We want you back here, Sean. Do what you got to do.
He's not watching, but still.
I think I asked the last time. Sean, are you even subscribed to the channel?
So anyway, now that's covered. Man, we've done this so many times. I don't know what we've talked about this particular.
Well, we were going to
So-
say that we're starting to get responses from people.
But we've talked about the scheduling in this episode because that was really the point.
Did we not go into that already?
I don't think we did. That's what I'm saying. We've done this so many times.
If we've
But I
already
don't think
talked
we
about the
did.
scheduling,
Because I started talking about it and then I switched over to Stone. So if I'm repeating what we've already said, I'm sorry. But we've done this
next
so many times.
week we're filming Jen's
We filmed
episode.
Jim's episode already. The audio was shitty, so we decided we needed to film it again.
By the
We're
way,
going
thanks
through-
to Anthony who reached out to us tonight, helped us with a couple things.
we hope is making this better. But ultimately, we've been trying to make the audio better, and especially thinking ahead and having guests. And we've had comments in the past about our poor quality of audio, so we've just been wanting to
Content
step
is
up our-
great.
We've been wanting to step up our game there, and it just kind of messed things up. And so, anyhow, we filmed her episode. We had 3.5 hours worth of material.
Good footage, too.
Started editing it and heard the quality of the audio and just decided we needed to refilm it after we got that worked out. And so we're going to plan on refilming that next week.
Yep.
Next week would normally be the time when her episode would come out. Since it's not, we're actually going to release Going Deep Underground #1.
So, Going Deep Underground, it's a different show. This is your creation.
Definitely. Is it?
I think this one is definitely more your baby because of lizard people.
That's not because it was like
But I would say that
So
you're really excited about this. Why are you so excited about Going Deep?
we've talked about in the Underground how going through this faith crisis, coming out the other side, has kind of opened up our minds to things that go against what we've been taught our whole life. And so that kind of leads into exploring things outside of religion in terms of things that you would have thought was totally insane before. But we are just now much more open-minded, not necessarily to believe everything that we see or read, but just to be open-minded to the fact that just because it seems crazy to us doesn't mean it's not possible, and it couldn't possibly be real.
One of the things that Sean shares in that episode that'll air next week is a quote where he says, "Believe nothing and consider everything." And I think that's what's so liberating about being away from a structured religion is that you can now start opening your mind to different possibilities and different things. And look, some of the stuff, it just sounds completely crazy, but you have to start saying how much of that is just that old program that's still in there that you were taught your whole life that no, this is the way that it is, and it restricts you.
Yeah.
And so we're excited to be able to talk about different things, and we'll share things that we found and we're really interested in, and we want it to be a dialogue. These are going to be live shows.
It's not, look, there's going to be some crazy ass shit that we talk about. It's things that people are going to think are so out there, they couldn't possibly be true. We're not saying that we believe everything that we're going to be talking about. I talk about this in this episode, in the first episode, that my favorite genre of movies and books and everything is fantasy and science fiction and that kind of stuff. And that kind of plays right into a lot of the conspiracy theory type stuff. And it's just, I like using my imagination in that way. And so you do that in the episode.
Do I really?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I hear the word imagination and I go right to South Park.
So anyway, so it's not that we necessarily believe everything that we're going to be talking about, but we find it interesting to talk about. And again, we're more open-minded to accept anything as being potentially truthful.
Possibility.
You just don't know.
We live in a matrix. We live in a matrix. How much of it is the matrix? How much of it are we being told what to believe? And so it's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
So having done a few episodes of The Underground, I just thought, and Sean is really a big catalyst for this because he's very much into conspiracy theory type stuff.
He talks about that in his episode.
And so we've talked a lot about those kind of things. And I just thought, if we're doing The Underground, which is all focused on religion and spirituality, it'd be cool to have something where we can discuss some of this other stuff outside of that realm.
Just makes sense.
And that's where the idea of going deep underground came from. So,
it just makes sense. And I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of this episode, there was a Jamiroquai song playing. We got an email, and this is the next kind of thing we wanted to talk about. We got an email on Monday morning from a viewer who had found us on Reddit X Mormon. Is that where he found us?
He didn't say which one. It was
the other guy.
So we've been really utilizing Reddit X Mormon longer, but then Scott just found XRM. So and posted on there recently. So he could have come from either one, but one of those two.
So he messed. I think no, it had to have been X Mormon because I hadn't joined XRM until 2 days ago. So, anyways, we got an email from a viewer in Sweden, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
What's up? Appreciate the support. Appreciate the comments. He's recommended.
Well, first of all, we were blown away that
we made it to
Sweden.
Right.
I mean, Australia. We've had several people from Australia.
But I can understand that because we have connections.
It's a little more expected because the whole.
We know people
mission thing, but yeah, being over in Sweden, just somebody randomly finding us, and I guess it's not real randomly, but finding us across the world in Sweden, and you were gonna say
he recommended the Jamiroquai song, "Deeper Underground," and so we played that at the beginning of this episode.
It's a nice groovy tune, and
kind of giving a shout out to him for that recommendation.
Title and some of the lyrics sort of go along with the whole idea of going deep, and so. He's also working on a 3D version of the logo for us, which is awesome. We can't wait to see that. But we've gotten people starting to reach out to us. And
we had another email from a guy yesterday here in the Salt Lake area. And Richard, we're looking forward to going to lunch with you. And just, we had a girl that reached out to us. Rachel, how you doing? Hope things are going well. She just had seen the podcast and was going through her own separation of she's left the church, her family is still in it, she's dealing with the guilt and the shame and maybe not so much guilt, but just the frustration of the family that's still deep in it.
And one of the reasons we kind of thought about this whole thing is one of the common threads with a lot of these comments is that they feel lonely. I mean, their families, their friends, they're all still very religious, and now they are either have gone through or are going through this part of their life where they're starting to question, and not only question but turn away from the beliefs that they've had their whole lives, that they've been taught, that all of their family and friends still believe, and that can cause a very lonely feeling. And they most of them, if not all of them, mention that and seem to be getting something out of these conversations.
We have had the intention from the get-go of being able to, wanting to just be a beacon of light to somebody if they're going through it, to say, you don't have to be alone. We're going through it. One of the reasons I love Reddit so much is, even having been out of the church now for 20 years, well over 20 years, it still is nice to see other people who I can relate to. People that are, like, I still don't talk to my family that much. And I feel that distance and that gap there. And so to be able to have other people talking about it and go, gosh, man, it's so just, I don't know, I don't want to say validating because I'm not looking for validation, but it's just nice. It's that absence of being lonely. Seeing other people that are going, because even you can't relate to me because we don't have the same family relationships.
Right.
Even Sean. And so I don't get that with you guys.
I mean, I think I relate more to Sean in that way than you because, right, I mean, we both are still very family oriented, even though most of our family members are still in the church. We still have close relationships with most of them, and we still, but yours isn't that. So in that way, Sean and I are much similar. So yeah, it's just, it kind of creates this community where everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but you can start relate to different parts of people's stories.
Another cool thing, when I posted on XRM is a subreddit for people that have served missions that are looking to see, is there anybody out there who served in the mission with me that's left the church that's on here? And so I posted something about the underground, said that it was McKinley, Hales, and Howard, 3 of the 5 that had got sent home in 95. If there's anybody out there, here we are. We've started a podcast. So I got a message from somebody who had served in the mission 2 years after we went home. So from 97 to 93, who happened to be at the tail end of the mission president that was coming out right as we were going home, President Anderson. And he wrote to me and said that he had heard all the rumors. So now he's going to listen and get the real story. I did hear it was an apostle going through the interviews, but this was the part that, really made it just that sense of, okay, we're doing something. He said, this is the first thing about my mission that I've been excited about hearing for nearly 15 years. So, man, that's cool.
He's not the only person that has had similar stories as far as knowing about
sentiments that they've expressed.
Yeah. So we've had a few people reach out to us and say, hey, I knew about your story. Even people that we're good friends with that were on our mission haven't ever heard the story from our mouths, right? And so we've had several people that said, I knew about the story. We've all had kind of, we would talk about what we thought might have happened. But to hear the story straight from you guys and to find out what really happened.
I even got a message from somebody who served in one of the wards that I lived in Doncaster in Australia. And she said, I knew you. And I remember when that whole thing went down and you guys went home, she said, we speculated on all these things and we were way off. And it was just so...
Which they usually are going to be. I mean, you're not really going to imagine...
There's no way you could have imagined the story. And if you haven't seen the story, go back and watch episode 4, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Specifically part 2. Because part 2 is the ugly ass part.
So anyway, it's creating this dialogue, which we've wanted all along. And that's been really cool to have people reach out to us and to start these communications with each other. And so that's why I want to give a little shout out to some of the people that we've been having that communication with. So again, thank you for watching. Remember, next week, no episode of The Underground, but we will be there's going to be two things. We're going to be releasing that first episode of Going Deep Underground, and then we'll do kind of a pregame before we reshoot Jim's episodes. We'll go live for a few minutes, so that'll come out. So you'll have those next week. The following week,
I don't think we've said anything about Dave.
I was just going to say, the following week we'll be shooting the next episode of The Underground, which will be our good friend David Johnson.
Well, that's if David Johnson can shoot.
We haven't actually asked him yet.
David, you might be finding this out right now that we're hoping to shoot with you not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. Today is August 27th.
So 2 weeks from today, August 27th. August 27th?
Yeah, August
So
27th.
anyway, so our plan, I should have said, our plan is to film his episode 2 weeks from tonight, and we would do another kind of pre-game live 5 or 10 minute video then as well, but that would be the only thing that comes out then. The third week of September will be the Going Deep Underground. No. Will be Jen's episode finally coming out. And then the next week
I don't think we've said anything about Ryan. I went to dinner last night.
Hold on. Let me finish the scheduling. So it'll be, next week we'll be Going Deep. The following week we'll be filming Johnson's and doing a quick live one. The following week Jen's episode will come out. The third week of September will be Going Deep Underground 2, which should be live. And then Johnson's will come out the first week of October.
Did you guys get all that? Did you write that down? Because there isn't a TV guide for this yet. We don't have that there. We talked a little bit about that the first time we went live. All I was going to say is we're really excited. I went to dinner last night with a friend who's a clinical social worker. He specializes in treating people who have left organized religion. A lot of polygamists down in the southern part of Utah. He's got a lot of cool things to share, to just be able to be fun to just pick his brain. He's a former member. He's left the church as well. So
we've got a couple interesting people with interesting stories coming up, and the thing I'm really excited about, I know I've mentioned this a couple times to you and Sean, is I'm really looking forward to getting outside of our sphere of family and friends and people we know. And it's been cool that we've had a few people reach out to us, as we've been talking about, through having found us online, watching the videos. They seem to have interesting stories, and they may potentially be coming on at some point to tell their stories. So I'm looking forward to that as far as getting outside of our realm.
Can I do this really fast? Sorry. Skip will be there soon. We're just finishing up this. You're live right now. Say hi.
Skip should be watching this live, because if he's following us, he should have got a notification.
10:30, we would be on live.
I know, but he should be following the Underground, so he should have got a notification that we were live, and so he should be watching.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, that's our buddy Skip. He'll be on it.
We have an appointment with him later on this evening. Really important. Play Rocket League. So, Rocket League.
So anyway, busy schedule coming up.
Cool stuff. We're excited. Keep sending us messages. Keep reaching out to us. If you've got questions, if you're interested in coming on,
if you've got an interesting story you want to tell,
we're down to listen to it. We're having fun doing this. So far, we have no intention of slowing down. Just working out the kinks.
So yeah.
If anybody's good at microphones, if anybody's good at making TV guides, let us know, and we'd be happy to have you helping us out, working with us. So till then, everybody. Good night, everybody. Cheers.